Oh, no, 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 you don't. Don't do that. How's it going, Jay? Everybody who may or may not be lurking, I can't see view count. So, I intentionally don't have the game up. I actually did have it going, but I just want to be sure that you guys catch this because the music of the start menu is absolutely phenomenal. So, today we are rocking, as the title says, Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Ooh. Ooh, that's smooth. Listen to that. Honestly, next week when I stream this next, I might just have this be the waiting room music because it is so good. So, I actually know very little about this game. It was sold to me as I sell it to you guys in the description. Yes. As it's been told to me, it's essentially Ace Attorney, but in a setting where we're in a fantasy setting. So you have to deal with cases like, get a demon out of his contract by examining that and finding the loophole. Stuff like that. I've never actually seen the game. Haven't seen a minute of it. But that's how it was sold to me. I did see in the achievements there are 5 cases. So, we'll see. There we go. Yeah, okay. So, Cold-Hearted Aristocrat, The Walking Dead, The Origins of Horus, Severed Ties, and Attorney of the Arcane. Thankfully, I got my sweet tea with me, so... The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls. Souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. I'd like to point out, occupation servant, age 34, arcane art, none. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword. Objection! Oh, it's even got the Phoenix Wright slam. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony, it was a complete it really is just Phoenix Wright. Yo, the whole soundtrack is this sick jazz? It's not cornered, but it's good. Oh, Ollie, you don't like Ace Attorney? Also, hey, Ranter. What? Objection. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. Also, I don't have an arcane art, but she does. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. It's just Ace Attorney. He knows something. But on this battlefield, there's still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Oh, damn it! Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you just listen to me? Yeah, he did it. Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir. Why, the Scaled Lord. Hi, how are you? Scaled Lord. I'm taking that title. I like that title. What did you killed him? Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Earlier that day, you feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Hello? Age 46, you know? 46 is the new 20, you know? Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? Oh, she's my, Mia Fey. You look like you're about to pass out. Ruby Timora. Don't worry about me, Miss Timora. I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump on the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine, if you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly good the second time. On second thought, that's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Look, right? I'm right there, alright? With the Scaled Lord? I mean, come on. Look, I haven't got the call. You know what? I'm just gonna have math at... You know what? Actually, I don't need math. Phrasing. I don't need math for this. Hold on. Let me get a little PNG of the lawyer's badge. I got an idea. I'm gonna do a stupid. Okay, this is gonna take just a quick second, y'all. Sorry about this. I can do two things at once. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Called it. So it really is literally just Ace Attorney, like 1-to-1. Together, you've been searching for a man named Linhart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissonance against King Oliver for the last few decades. You've no idea what kind of business Miss Timona would have with him. I can't read while I'm taking this picture. But you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello, travelers! Welcome to Cornhaven! Spelt with a K. The music in this village has gotta be absolutely great. Can I assume there is indeed a freak on a leash somewhere? A local merchant steps out of one of the nearby shops. He's a wide smile on his face. No, he doesn't. That looks like my smile. And he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourself care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes. They must be from the city. Am I psychic? He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. I am psychic! I'm still working on this. Look, this is a stupid idea, but it's gonna pay off. Yeah. I'm just glad she's not listening at the moment. That's all I'm saying. Excuse me. Well, I don't need a drink, but... Miss Timona glances at you and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Of course! Just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I could fleece him for a lot. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare to your eye of Horus. Jay? Alright, hold on. Okay, get image. Okay. I have an idea. Alright. Oh, no, I don't think I could flip it. Hold on. Yeah, I can. Flip, or, nope, wrong one. Flip horizontal. Okay. Scale way down. And we'll put that right there. There we go. Look at that. It almost looks like it fits. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. Yes. Yes, it could. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 SP. You may find the price daunting, but it's organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice. But I bet they can't even tell the difference. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant shop. Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he's seen in the world. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these at any time with the toolbar in the top left. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Ooh. Alright. You started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. Once you're out of confidence, you lose the argument. I think you need to elaborate. You said this apple juice is organic, but where's it made? It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course. I only traded. In a town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. So for certain claims, you need to present a piece of evidence. If he just says objection. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why'd you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Oh, how did that get here? Make no mistake, I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. Let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Okay. For certain claims, you'll need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Am I missing chats here? Yes, I am. Multi-chat isn't showing Math and Jay. Okay, let's see if I did that, Math would find out where I live and drag me to the closest thing of a cliff. There we go. Okay, so I have to switch just to pure YouTube chat. For some reason, multi-chat is not showing. Weird. There we go. Welcome, baby. For certain claims, you'll need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. Choose logic if they contradict something in your notes. Choose intuition if their thought contradicts their claim. Or choose empathy if their emotions are against their claim. I usually sell this stuff for 5 SP a flask. So, because his thoughts are contradicting it, it's obvious those flasks are worth 5 SP. What? How did you... Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. Right. Oh, hey, kid. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. How about 20 SP for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Yo! Alright, that... Hold on. There we go. Also, who DM'd me? There's the baby. The Kingdom of Wyverngard. Established several centuries ago by the Seven High Archmages. The kingdom's currently ruled by King Oliver de Wyverngard and the mages of his nobility. The nobility would tell you that our marvelous kingdom is in a land of prosperity and happiness. A land where its people share wealth and succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor the kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have good intuition for this kind of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Yeah, right? No. They just worship the Scaled Lord, that's all. Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Interesting that she's just an attorney, and Tyrion is a, I mean, hey, Linkin Park is new metal. Anyway, that Tyrion is defense attorney while she's just attorney. Anyway, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. My tip is correct. This should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? The state it's in, calling it a tavern is pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for dissidents. Now you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. Tavern's been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart just uses it to host his rallies. Though I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat this long. Hey, you lot! The McCoy Tavern is closed! The gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. I love the soundtrack to this game. I actually might buy it. Hold on, I'm gonna check that right quick. The soundtrack is indeed on sale for $10. $8 if you get it in a bundle. And they are selling merch, too. And the merch kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? He's eyeing you... What? What, Ollie? He's eyeing you and Miss Timona, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it you're Flintheart McCoy. I am? What of it? Yeah, that's weird. Sorry about not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Timona. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Timona? Wait, the Ruby Timona? Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh, as if he were meeting an old friend. Oh, didn't you say so? Come on in! You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Timora. But you suppose it makes sense. They both fight it against the same enemy, albeit in different ways. Swanky place! Sorry about the mess. They haven't exactly been. Well, anyway, what brings you here? I didn't take you to I take it you didn't journey all this way to see Marek Tavern. I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition you might be interested in. Is there anywhere we could talk more privately? Sure. Kitchen's empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak to McCoy. Also, she is a good 46. What? Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. Like, hell, there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. Oh. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away. Spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. I like this. It's already been hours since Miss Timona and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. But you can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. Even from here, you can tell their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. Looks like they're gonna be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. Who just carries a chessboard? You bring out the chessboard, the small chessboard you carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. No, it really can't, Tyrion. Checkmate. You win against yourself. This time as black. I played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white's more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. Why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Oh. You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Becoming overconfident as white because it has first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ah! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh, sorry. You know where my dad is? Your dad. Linhart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste. Mercenary? Also, you don't have a family resemblance, chickadee. Oh, Linhart's talking with my mentor right now, his small wife. Oh, I wanted to show him something. You know when they'll be done? I don't know, they've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. You hear Flintheart and Miss Tamora's voices getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? You playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with a... Lads, she's a keeper. I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. That's... Relax, I'm just joking. Anyway, if you're still waiting for your mentor, you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Hey, Sean! Sure, I've heard about this before. She's read about it? This table is so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? Part of you regrets accepting her challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks! Checkmate. You defeat her in 2... Jesus! How? How does one lose in 2 moves? Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? No, I want to know that. You decided against telling her what the name of that mate was. Rematch me. I want a do-over. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide her next move. But she hasn't realized the game's already finished. Here! She moves her knight in a position to attack your queen. Should have stopped your assault on her king, but... Checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Linhart and Miss Tamura's discussion is becoming louder. Doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. For someone who clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. But even so, you've been playing this game a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. As if you'd even need to. One more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Miss Tamora emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. Looks like negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad! Oh, hello, sweetie. Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. Is this some kind of game? Miss Tamora glances at the pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Hey, sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. Ooh. Yeah, because she has transmutation. You wonder what he meant by that. Was Miss Tamora trying to introduce her into one of our clients? Anyway, it's getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region's littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. I have plenty of empty rooms you can stay until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. You're left in the dining room with Miss Timora. Or Timora. Pagan negotiations didn't go well. No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I still have no idea what I have no idea what that man has against mages. There's one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? Your business with Flintheart is related to our clients. I can help. Yeah, no problem, Sean. Good luck with work, brother. Don't work too hard and, you know, take care of yourself, too. Work to live, don't live to work, all that good shit. Besides, we love lurkers here. If your business with Flintheart is related... It wasn't important. And your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie. But you can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding thoughts from the Eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically comes back downstairs, but she seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Tamora. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Timora head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see 2 rooms that Celeste prepared for you. This is gorgeous, by the way. Miss Timora stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. Sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, it's not like that! It's just outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is! You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your position's already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. Sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work I just can't tell you about yet. One day, I'll tell you... Oh, that's a death flag. Honestly, Jay, the way I improved was mimicry. It's the same way I'd advise learning accents. And that is just to listen to someone that you do admire as a voice actor. In my case, a lot of it was Steve Bloom. And try and mimic them as best you can. But don't be afraid to kind of obviously put your own spin on it, because that's what you got to do if you ever want to become a voice artist. You'll kind of start. The reason I advise starting with mimicry is because it helps you train your voice to get a little bit more range, and then once you start understanding how to manipulate your voice, you can kind of mentally walk yourself through processing a character. So for Ruby here, like if and I'm not really doing my best voice work here, I'm just kind of trying to make them distinct enough. But looking at her, you not only you get the age 40, so she has a little more of a subdued voice. She carries herself very defensively. Look how she has her arms crossed. Her eyes are very sharp. Her features are very stern. So she's going to have a very no-nonsense voice. Not very light, not very lilting. And keep in mind, she is a woman. I'm not a woman, obviously, so I can't do that perfectly. But it kind of gives you that vibe that you want to go with her, where she's a lot more, I wouldn't say seductive, but very flowing voice. And you might want, and if we found out she smoked later, you would want to add a little gravel to it. And it's stuff like that. And you get the idea of how to kind of mix and match these little tweaks that you've learned by mimicking. And you kind of learn, like, oh, this is how I make my voice gravelly. This is how I make my voice more bassy. This is how I give it a more of an airy quality. And then you kind of start thinking, well, this character should have this kind of voice and this kind of voice, and you learn how to mix them together, and that gives you essentially your ability to create voices. Keep in mind, and that, of course, that goes with accents too, which is the other reason I suggest mimicry so much, is because you listen to accents, and accents are a very good way to train yourself. Another bit of actual advice that I do like to give people is, and it's a little harder to hear when I'm doing this because I'm trying to keep a quick pace when it comes to reading, but change your cadence. Let's go to the next urine. So, for example, here, Tyrion's coming off as very, he's 20, so he's young. We saw him. He's very fresh-faced. He's very unsure of himself. Yeah, of course, Jay. But you kind of get that feel, so you want to kind of have a lighter voice. Now, granted, I'm not doing a voice for Tyrion because he's our main character. I'm gonna be voicing him a ton. But you kind of want a bit of a lighter voice, but not all the way up where you're doing kind of a teenage voice, but you want a little bit lighter, and you want to kind of have this sense of not wonder, but innocence to it, excitability even. And so you'll want to change his cadence. He would probably talk a little faster. He's a lawyer. He's eager. So, right, I'm sorry for prying. Versus if I were to do the same for McCoy downstairs, not only am I keeping that more of a gruff tone, trying to get just a hint of an accent because of the McCoy, but he's an older dude. He's more self-assured. He's more set in his way. He's going to talk a lot slower. So, right. Well, I'm sorry for prying. Like, just that. It's the same line, but they feel like two completely different characters just because of the cadence. And you could do that even without actually adopting a voice. So even my normal voice, right, I'm sorry for prying, versus, right, I'm sorry for prying. Even the same voice, it feels like two completely different people. A lot of beginners do neglect cadence to really change up a personality of voice. Sorry for that whole absolute fucking tangent. But yeah, I really did want to be a voice actor for a long time, but my voice isn't as malleable as it once was. It really does. I'll agree. It really does. My voice isn't as malleable as it once was, and beyond that, just maybe nowadays I could have, but when I was younger, when I was around the age, it was one of those things that if you wanted to have a career in voice work, you had to live in Texas or California. And I didn't want to live in Texas or California. I want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are. I know you are. The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyway, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. You lay in the bed that the McCoys prepared for you, and as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Yeah. Sadly, VA work these days, political is a big part of it, but that's sadly a lot of culture these days. But the know people to get in is what really kills it for me. If you ever want to make a career out of it, I will say that just do it. Just go. Start dubbing. Do what I'm doing right now. Like, dub Phoenix Wright. Find fan comics and dub those. Read books. Do everything. Just go. Do it. Do it. Do it. Because it's one of those jobs where your portfolio matters a lot more than your experience, if that makes sense. The big thing I hate about VA work these days, though, from what I hear, is it's not just who you know, it's how many people you know. I've heard of damn good voice actors, like great talent, get refused jobs because they didn't have a big enough social media following. And that's really fucking stupid to me. I can't stand that. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. Ooh. I recognize a dragon eye when I see it. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You're fairly certain you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you something is fundamentally wrong about this. Hi? She does have eyes. They're really well shaded, but they do look slitted. You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What? She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally found. Hi! I finally found you, Heavensborn! Okay. Wait, can I? Okay, I cannot go back. You're jolted wide awake. Do I have a history? Yes! I finally found you, Heavensborn. I was right. You can't remember exactly what that woman said to you, but whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating 100 miles an hour. Calm down. It's a dream. At least, that's what you try and tell yourself. Please, just let me explain. I want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour? I want you out of my house! Out! A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What's that all about? It's none of your business. You only met those two today. Look, alright? I will stand on this. I will die on this hill. I will put my lawyer badge, which I pointed at my own collar like it's actually on my fucking neck. Monica did nothing wrong, and I will argue that till I die. Monica did nothing wrong. Fight me. It would probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. And as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. Slowly make your way out of your room, but the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. You run into Flintheart, who was slowly walking up the stairs. Even at this close, it's hard to see expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard. Oh no, that's him. Sorry, I just heard. Right, I forgot you two were. His words trail off. Is everything okay? He is sad and scared. Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. Okay. Ranter. Monica? Okay, you know what? Hold on. we're gonna do this right. Hush for just a minute, and we're gonna turn on YouTube. Okay. Yes, here we go. You know what? No. Give me just a second. We're doing this right, all right? There we go. All right, so. Shut up, Jay. This is what y'all come for, all right? Hear me out. Monica, the reason I say Monica did nothing wrong, yes, she caused the death of Sayori, she didn't actually cause the death of Natsuki. Natsuki survived. She just got deleted. She did cause the death of Yuri, though, so already, that's only 2 deaths, okay? But granted, Yuri is great, so she counts as 2. Moving on. But Monica only did that because... Hell yeah! Monica only did that because she realized that she was in a game. That it was the Flowey argument. That she had the ability to resurrect them. That their deaths weren't real. And you cannot sit here and tell me that you haven't done fucked up shit to video game characters because you knew they couldn't feel it. Because you knew that you could respawn them. So if that's okay for you, which I think it is, then it should be okay for her. Also, we also see, when Sayori gets the president position, that it kind of mind warps you. At least, Monica stepped up and did things right in the end. I'm not defending what she did. Okay, yes, she killed 2 people. Okay. But deletion is permanent, yes. Wait. We don't know if death is permanent, though. Because we know that she maintains her knowledge through the loop. So there's no reason to believe that she couldn't reset it if she's able to mess with their personalities. Also, we can delete and reform and regen them. Hell, Monica doesn't even get deleted when you delete her. She survives in the code. That's how she can save you in the true end. Your Honor, Monica is a hero. Monica, it not only did nothing wrong, she is a hero. Okay, yeah, but Ranter, counterpoint, you're in a room with her till the end of time. Absolutely worth it. No further arguments, Your Honor. In all seriousness, though, if you only had a window and you knew that that's all you could do. Yeah, poor Jay actually has actual jury duty coming up. If you... Also, she doesn't trap you there, Ranter. She knows that you, the player, can walk away from your screen whenever you want. Yuri is best girl. Yuri is best girl. I do agree with that. But that doesn't mean she did anything wrong. That just means that second best girl won, okay? And sometimes second best girl wins. Oh crap, my mouse disappeared again. Hold on. There it goes. So, but yeah, yes. Yuri is best girl, but Monica did nothing wrong. It was, but for real though, I do honestly think she did nothing wrong. It's fun to say it like that, but, and I do understand where people are coming from when they say that she is kind of psychotic, but it's not really her fault, considering Sayori snaps too. And she does pretty good with what she's got, frankly. Anyway, yes. Oh, speaking of Soapbox Sunday, because we actually have a pretty good crowd here right now, I do want to announce, I announced this on Monday, but I want to announce it again. Math is going to be streaming this weekend. She's not sure when, whether it'll be Friday or Saturday, but we have this weekend off. So, she is going to be streaming, and I will be joining her in playing a little indie title called Wires and Whiskers, I believe it is, which is a little half-hour co-op game. I should link it in the chat, but I won't be on there long. We'll just be enough to play the game, which again should be about a half hour, 45 minutes, depending on how well we do. But I just wanted to announce that and let people know. After I do that, God knows what she's gonna do. But I do want to let people know that. Anyway. Let's see what line I missed. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste? Are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? No answer. Celeste! Where are you? The merchant you spoke with before steps out from shop holding his lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, that sucks, baby. So, hun, what are your plans for your stream after Wires and Whiskers? You're the kid from before. You have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right, sorry. I was looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy? She's Flynnhart's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? What do you want with that bastard? Damn mage. What? Those two probably woke up half the streets with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up, too. If I hear any more noise, I'm gonna call the town guard. Rude? Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back in his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. Oh yeah, you are near the end of Spyro. I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flynnhart. You! Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Look so. What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what? You came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Huh! Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Oliver's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Flynnhart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? Friend! I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Ooh. Damn it. Damn it! Aren't you fool? Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the scaled lord, what did you... You killed him? Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. And at once, sir. You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been inside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she? What am I gonna do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Oh! As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. Looks just as tired as you are. Probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up? Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. But from the way she reacted, it's clearly not common. Suppose it's none of your business. You decide not to pry further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm gonna stay out a little longer. You know you should mind your own business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes me and Miss Timora get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we're always able to talk through it. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. You're right. Let's go back. Oh. What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No. I'm not screaming in my apartment at 10 p.m. She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is! Celeste McCoy, by authority of the Wyvern God Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. I love this dude's design. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing commotion, 3 other knights grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between 3 knights, it's taking all their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What's going on here? Tyrion! Miss Timora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see she's okay. Miss Timora! Should have known he was one of yours. Just stay out of the way. Miss Timora, what's going on? Is the Inquisition here? Surprised myself. From what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Yes, save our progress. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Miss Timora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. And due to supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic. So why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyway, you find yourself met with another hurdle. Frustrating one. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial's in an hour! How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. Wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. So, you're really planning on defending her? You know she can even afford a lawyer? Can't just stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. We know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... The attorney's runestone. It is a camera and... Nice! It's almost like a badge. Big student comeback, there's booth for entering classes, a big fun event. Nice! Awesome, Jay. Also, I am going to take a screen cap of this runestone, and then next time we stream this, I will have the runestone. instead of the lawyer's badge. This is an attorney's runestone? If you're gonna defend her, you're gonna need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys anyway. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyway, keep one thing in mind. If you try and defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Damn it, you knew they'd try and get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. What's with all the noise? You're that knight from the tavern. It's Commander Orem White, kid. I have a feeling Timora will be sniffing around this case. But I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot. Yes, sir. When I did my tour through college, I say it like I served, like it was serving in the military. When I did my rolled through college, I didn't get a club day. I didn't get a student return. I didn't get a comeback. I just, here's your classes. Good luck. Ugh. Oh, this tea went bad. The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. Oop. For something built in the capital, it looks extremely old and decrepit. Yeah, none of the prisoners are happy. You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. Heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. Never felt this much concentrated despair before. Oh, it's you! Celeste is lying on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells. But she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Timora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. Just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Yeah, that'd probably be it. How could someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it? Not sure about the details, but it's clear there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. You have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Gee, I wonder if she's adopted because her father looks nothing fucking like her. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It'd probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyway, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you're the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell! The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. Shoot this protagonist! I mean, Capcom's legal team might. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought up before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything! Damn it, they weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. Did you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. They're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her. And because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the scene. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you could really do this. Everything's happening so fast. It feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Actually, entering a courtroom has taken a lot of the wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Timura's assistant. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Miss Timura mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwind. You feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Oh, that was me. Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. Not exactly the first occupation you'd choose. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see. So there was magic involved. Yes. The crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. Alright, already, bitch, your case is terrible. If they announced it hours before... Hold on, I'm looking this up. Like, obviously we know. Yeah. Okay, reporters... The locals reported hearing a commotion. Hours later, a carriage driver checked the disturbance. So, it would have already been gone. Like, there wouldn't have been a disturbance hours later. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sort. Bitch, if you update this autopsy report, I swear to me. Autopsy report of Flintheart McCoy has been added to your notes. Heavy traces of transmutation magic. Alleged murder weapon, ornately designed sword, but has no magical properties. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. Called it! She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orem White, Commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Orem, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. I keep expecting to hear the Ace Attorney sounds. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flint McCoy dead on the floor. Defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument was turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Alright. Got it. Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. I can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert? Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry. I don't... Your anxiety's just getting worse. Your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Timura today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait! This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they gonna execute her? No, not again. Are they seriously gonna let that happen again? Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulder and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation. But she looks stern, not angry. You did miss a debate, Ollie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. Yeah, like this... Okay, so far, this is a positive and a negative, how similar this is to Ace Attorney. Like, it feels exact. You can even pick out the archetypes. The subject was if Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club did anything wrong or not. And because this is my stream, I decided that I won. But seriously, we just kind of agreed to disagree. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, you take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. Apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Very well. There we go. Oh, thank God that worked. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the... Yeah, we've all played Ace Attorney. Cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement and find the contradiction that could a clue, spell, or profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, present the contradicting evidence. Do we have saves? We do. So we will save right here. I'm pretty sure... Okay, killed the victim using her magic sword. But the sword is not magical. Objection! Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? It's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. May be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it's entirely mundane. Doesn't make a lick of sense. The sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. There's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. What the hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damn mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. It may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She'd just be incriminating herself. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her. Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims a third party committed the murder and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't a simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. I'd say Clone Trooper just because I really like armor. It's sure the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Defendant over there, her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used that on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So, her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. Spell Compendium is a magic device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's Compendium only contains one spell. It means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your Spell Compendium with you? No, I left it in the tavern after... You know. You can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information you can use against him. So we're just pressing. Yeah, I know. You're saying my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. Mage Blade. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize she led such a lethal shiny 501st or a commander. I don't know enough to give you an option on that one. But anyway, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion after all. Theory's a little far-fetched, but you'll need hard evidence to disprove it. Why would she go through the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence to the contrary? You don't, yet. That spell is the reason there were traces of transmutation magic on the blade. Is that true? If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? Oh? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell on the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene. And we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. Oh. Yeah, there you go. Ace Attorney D&D. You still don't believe me? I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? There's no need. The entire case is open and shut. Crime scene picture. Let's have a look. Very clearly not the same sword. Yeah, because this has like this circular pop on the crossblade, on the crossguard here, and it's a lot of a thinner blade. It's definitely like a straight sword. This is very broad sword. And while here's the crossguard, like, or the circular pattern, there's no crossguard below it, so it looks like the sword is like folded in on itself. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but this feels different now that the body is someone you knew. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? that just now? You can see it right there, in the photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Why is that strange? Yeah, I mean, it very clearly stabbed through the front, into the back. Right, this photo does show he was stabbed from the front. I feel like there's something wrong in this picture. It'd be a lot easier if you knew the parameters of Mage Blade. Maybe you can get him to add statements or evidence. Okay, yeah. So, I'm going to present the sword. Yeah, because I don't have that. I'm going to save here. I know I'm save scumming like a little bitch, but... Oh! Oh! Died after being stabbed from behind. Objection! I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you presented another glaring contradiction. Yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report said he died from a stab from behind. What? Objection! Orin, you were supposed to release everything you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. No way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what's the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning is behind this, Your Honor. As the autopsy report says, the victim died of a stab wound originating from his back, but this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy! You honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? You think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client, but they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. Objection! It appears I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you still got it way ahead of yourself. Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cost out on your case. Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? Irrelevant. Objection, relevance. Or should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. We even have a gumshoe... Oh my god. I don't know if I like or dislike how similar this is to Ace Attorney. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client. The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. See, it certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there's still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Damn it! I almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give the law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We'll resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Hey, day one done. Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you're greeted by Miss Timora. Miss Timora, you're here? You recall you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Hey, we got the spell compendium! For the duration of the spell, the edges of the object, usually your blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through the tough metal. While under the effects, the sword... Yes! The object inflicts a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no large... It really is D&D! Must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. The incantation is Arcane, no gesture, duration is 1 minute, and it is a concentration spell. Yeah, it really is just D&D. My spell compendium? I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. Thought it'd be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, everybody. Ugh, tired. And it only has one spell. H-Blade. It means the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It'll restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You still remember her ripping glare. Gives you chills just thinking about it. You would know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her experience would make for a good first opponent, but that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. One of the noble families, they're one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of the house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. Well, to be fair, like, the tech seems to be Magitech, because, like, the runestone is what gives you pictures. So it's a bit strange she chose to become a pro... Oh, shit. Excuse me, I am so sorry. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father. Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. Looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have, will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Finhart may have struck a nerve. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect to make the same mistake twice. Right. Still a lot of things we don't know. Much as I hate to admit it, your skills in deduction far surpass mine. If anyone could figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Look, I'm just saying she's a good 40. Alright, that's all I'm saying. You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Lucky for you, the Inquisition has set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you can magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. Definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. It's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice of you as soon as you enter the tavern. Looks like he's been working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. I'm the defense attorney in the case. I have just as much right to investigate the crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. So, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Ha! As if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That witch probably sent you here to con me. What? I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. He was cooperative before or when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry you embarrassed him? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll have to persuade him through an argument. Oh! It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to Orm or present items to help you build a psychological profile. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments. Interesting. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do, exactly? Trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just genuinely curious. Oh, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Do crimes like this happen often? Maybe once in a blue moon. Makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility, after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make the habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job, then. You got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. And he's angry about it. Doesn't seem that happy about that. Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. You have a personal grudge against mages? Damn right I do! Wow, he didn't even try and deny it. And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hand and say some magic nonsense, then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. Don't get me started on mage blight. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far, but why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that, that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug. Sorry, didn't mean to insinuate. Nah, you get the right of it. Anytime a noble's involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. Can't go up to the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. Your boss? Is there something against Miss Timora? Check out the sword. Mage's sword really is strange. It's almost a shame we had to confiscate it. Is it really that abnormal? It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. Wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms. How do you like my badge? What do you think about this? I don't know what you're expecting me to say. Autopsy report. Seems pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that? I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy is performed by a mage who studies divination. Their magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots. I like that, actually. Rather than just having the autopsy team be laughably incompetent, it's magic. There's some flaws. Blind spots? Like what? Well, for one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after death, the report becomes muddled. Divination magic can tell what happened to a body, but not in what order and what times. But someone definitely stabbed Flintheart's body with Celeste's sword. If what he's saying is true, it would be much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Okay, he doesn't have anything to say about the picture, so the Mage Compendium? Never seen a real spell compendium before. Still not exactly sure how they work. Spell compendiums are magic devices that display exactly what spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the time. Right, having that unlet information is definitely a blessing for the defense and the prosecution. So I got nothing else, so we're going to take a look around the room. A painting of a mage? There's some text on it. Samala Daglin, a legendary practitioner of the Arcane's arts, mysteriously disappeared one day. Rumored he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Daglin quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate he didn't actually die during the accident. If that's true, where did he end up? Sounds like a cautionary tale against magic. That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. It's a painting of a man in the suit. There's some text on it. Adam Evelay, politician of the pedantic. I heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. Heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election I have going on. Election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? There's a broken bottle on the floor, shattered close to the chalk outline of the body. The label has the words lotus juice on it. Never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign. Alright, there's some evidence. Chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. This is probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here. Modern looking lamps. An artificer's lamp. Artificy is just another form of magic. Actually, artificy draws on surrounding ley lines to... I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid. Anyway, look where artificer got these folks. Arcane power cell broke. Haven't had any power in weeks. Nothing can beat good old oil and flame. Interesting. Let's see. Lit some candles. That's everything in this room. So let's try showing him the wine. I wonder what lotus juice is. Definitely not any drink I've heard of. Must be some kind of imported brand. This place has been without power for about a week. I wonder if there's any information I can infer from that. I've been using candles to keep the place lit. This is why you can't rely on magic. Honestly, the more I play this, Ollie, the more I want to make D&D characters based around these characters. It could be really fun. I have to ask, did something happen between you and Miss Timora? Miss Timora. What are you, her lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. Oh, I didn't even know she had a... Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you two, but no good will ever come from associating with her. It's about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Timora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but she can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors. I've seen it myself. The woman's evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Hey, we got the profile. My first was... Let's see, my very first was a cleric. I played a cleric of Lolth, Drow. But I usually... Like, my favorite will always be fighter. Anytime I make myself in, like, Baldur's Gate, it's fighter. And yeah, her, you know, fighter, boring, big sword. You're talking a lot of shit for someone in six times damage range. Alright. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you. You have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. You have a problem with me, Commander White? Oh! Stubborn and stuck in his ways. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby Timora and will react negatively if you try and defend her. However, he'll respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. I have to spell it out for you. Ruby Timora is a crooked lawyer. Does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Alright, elocutions. Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince your opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of three possible responses. The correct response will be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. So either of these sound good. But we know he likes it when you defend yourself, so we'll try deflect. Regardless of what Miss Timora has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. That still doesn't change the fact you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Also, Ollie, as our local mustache master, judgment on Commander White's mustache. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. You're just another crook. I'll bet you're all the same. A successor for the devil of defense attorneys. I'm not Ruby Timora. Whatever you've seen her do, I'm gonna run an honest case. It doesn't matter if the rumors are true. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm gonna run an honest case. I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Right now, I'm just a defense attorney asking you for information. Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. Hey! Alright. This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that the sword is the murder weapon. Right, I guess you have to prove someone else put the sword in there. Fair enough. It's a bit... 5 out of 10 Tom Selleck's. It's a bit thin and wispy, but I think it kind of fits his whole look. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? If you're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't. It'd be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? But let's say the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake in your investigation. Ah, shut it with that. I already got an email from Steelwind about that mess. You don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally, she wouldn't, but I know better than to go against orders from a noble. Right, there's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. But honestly, the girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? You have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you. Take a look. I always like to check my evidence as soon as I get it. Ollie, you're being proven more and more right. Look at this goddamn D&D map. Look at this. Look at this goddamn D&D. I have made this exact map in Roll20. I swear to God. Actually, it's not true because this table layout here is absolutely god-awful. Thank you for the D&D map, buddy. I heard this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. Pain in my ass is what she is. Damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. Honestly, I have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. Heard she's from a renowned noble house. She must be a pretty powerful mage. Powerful is an understatement. Steelwinds who came before could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? No way that's true, right? I think you found everything you can here. Well, what does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found, and there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You get quiet all of a sudden. Just focus. Close your eyes, let everything else disappear from the world. Hey, you listening? So there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. What? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? Ooh! This is cool! Okay, Flintheart... So there's a lot, because it proves that Flintheart didn't move. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which said he died from the stab behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. That means the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. It's been updated. Probably to, yeah, with the V marker. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body, which would mean Flintheart dropped the bottle during the attack. Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Right, which would mean if he was getting attacked by a woman... No, because we already know he was stabbed in the back. What's so strange about one bottle, though? It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. Right. There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orim? Nah, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird, too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch-black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? So they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights, which means the crime scene had no lighting during the murder. I like this mechanic. This is a cool mechanic. It's simple, but it feels like it belongs, but it also feels completely unique from Ace Attorney. Excuse me. God, that tea went bad. Burger King tea goes bad real quick. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. We know that. The argument Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have had a lot of visibility. If you stabbed him behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself, or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid. Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted? Kid! What? What was all that about? Sorry, sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Right. Anyway, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. If people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument. Enough! I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're the defense attorney from the trial. I am. Sorry, but who? How rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in my current trial, as misguided as it may be. I suppose you also think my client is guilty. It doesn't matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility and the nobility alone. The symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. Oh, I can't wait till you have your breakdown. And now that bastard child has tainted the symbol in the public eye. All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption. That's the voice I'm trying to give him to, Ollie, because he just has major douche canoe vibes. And his hair... Who has an emo-over that long? Okay? With, like... Okay, so, like, I've seen women have, like, the long bang in the front. And I think that's really cute and, with some character designs when it covers the eye and they kind of hide behind it and all shy. Adorable. But this loser has that same, like, hiding bang, but he has short... His hair is short. Loser. Don't ask why I just went on a fashion... I am the dapper dragon, okay? That's why I went on a fashion rant. So you're saying that she could be... that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as it is. What's one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not public opinion. Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person who would kill her father? Doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals. Just as I'll fight for mine. Hard to get a read on that woman. Let's see. Several doors lead to guest rooms. There are some candles lighting the hallway. Door at the end of the hallway. Looks like it's seen some use recently. You're trying to open it, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it. Interesting. Okay, thank God they fixed this. One thing that always annoyed me, Pierce is Pete White if he just rolled shit like a douche. I do like that you don't have to, like, travel back to the tavern to head to the barracks. You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. The ambient despair in the air fills your mind like a horrendous stench. You do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Anyway, I came to ask you some questions about the case. Right. I don't have the door in my notes, so let's just talk for now. Sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial. No, there's no need to apologize. You did great. It's only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed me down, who knows what would have happened. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right, those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magical residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. Ah! Thank you, Ollie. It's been a while since I've seen Venture Bros. They only linger for about 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of where and when a spell is cast. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there's a trace of it on the sword, at least. Trace of my sword? Leave the magical trace on my dad's body? Nah, magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made. Really? What does that mean then? Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword is just an unlucky coincidence. Okay. Okay, the weird thing is, I remember Quiz Boy. I remember Master Billy Quiz Boy. Pete White, I forgot. He's the albino dude, yeah? Yeah, albino guy. Duh. Look, alright, it's been a long month. I can't believe this. Could you tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions. You two close? We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. Stark? What's up, baby? What about Stark? Even though I don't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart until what? With the argument that they had? I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad hated mages. Not sure why, but if you even mention magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. Oh, okay, yeah, that's Stark. So I hid my magic from my family. No, from what I remember, he is actually a pretty good dude. Like, he's pretty chill. Stark, for those who don't read Monster Hunter International, is a massive prick. Why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Also, by the way, baby, I just realized Pale Albino is a fucking tautology. Most mages are in the nobility, so people pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. So that's why she's a mercenary. But I know now. Learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me, told me I betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. Can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyway. He showed me so much love, and I just threw it all away. Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you. No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. He died hating me. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. So, there's a locked door in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure. Locked room at the end of the hall? I think that's my room. You know how I can get in there? It's the only room in the tavern I haven't investigated. You feel a suspicious glaze from Celeste. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not gonna do anything weird. Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside. Thank you, Celeste. Jesus, Celeste, your bedroom is huge! However, you're startled when you notice that someone else is already inside. I already told you Knights everything I know. More do you... Oh! Aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am? Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. Hey, so Celeste, sweetie, you're gonna need a new dad. I'm just saying. I was at the trial this morning. Can't thank you enough for everything you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. You might be able to tell you more about Flintheart. About that, do you mind if I ask you some questions for my investigation? Do anything I can to help. Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike their nobility and associate magic with them. I'm surprised no one's yelling at me for hitting on the widow. But that night, it was like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage. He must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when their argument happened, but I can only imagine what he said to her. What happened to him? He hate magic so much. Celeste didn't know about this, but years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When I was a child, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. He's the son of the ruling noble at the time. Garrick Pierce? Isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes. They probably weren't too happy about that. He was quite rebellious back then. He's a completely different person now. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day, when we were playing together, he wanted to show off the spells he'd learned. He's told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he's just too excited. He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. Lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. Tried bringing her back into town, but by that point, it was too late. She was already gone. Sorry. Must have been traumatizing for all of you. Next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connection to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. It's not surprising. Nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even a mistake like that. There we go. Nothing changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that had gotten under his banner was terrifying. He was even talking an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I don't know why I drank that. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Can you tell me more about Celeste? She became part of your family. It all happened many years ago. Back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing up one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. That baby was Celeste. Mm-hmm. Flintheart and I always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste might have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at her inn. I didn't care, though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did, too. But wait, you knew she was a mage all this time? I did? I hadn't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed, too, but I think he didn't want to believe it. I should have forced him to see the truth. I spoke with Celeste earlier. He thinks her father hated her because she was a mage. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, you figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades I'd seen him so genuinely happy. They must have been really close. More than anything. You want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. Lotus juice! I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. Called in a bunch of favors for some of his revolutionary friends. But in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle. Is it really that rare? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the only if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute, lotus juice? Is this the bottle? You show her a picture of the shattered bottle that you found next to Flintheart. It is! Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. Found the broken pieces next to Flintheart's... Well, I found them in the dining area. Strange. He'd been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument. So it wasn't just laying around in the barn. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Alright, you think you've investigated everything you can. There's one last thing you need to do. You need to ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste. Let's have a look around first. It's a fancy looking bed. Celeste had it custom made. Wouldn't something like this be really expensive? It was. I was really surprised when she returned from her travels. Apparently she's making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary. Even Flintheart must have been happy. We are. But I still wish she'd get a less dangerous job. Door leading to the hallway. The table with several chairs. Must have been used for entertaining guests. Hasn't seen much use. It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal. An axolotl! Oh, I love that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. Supposedly that woman is named Madeline Kipling. From what I heard, she runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think the animal in this painting is called a fakip. Celeste told me she really likes him. That's interesting. That's everything we got. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh? Earlier you said something I can't let go. You said your father died hated you. But after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments. You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. He's just lying to make me feel better. But it looks like it won't be that simple. You'll need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth. Celeste believes her father died hating her, but after seeing them together and learning about them, you know that can't be true. You just need to convince her. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. Wait, why am I going back to her mom's voice? Shit, Sean, you're right. We need to find a McCoy. Or a Hatfield. But everyone knows my father hated mages. He's always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. Oh, yes there is. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason your father hated magic so much. What? When Flintheart was a kid, he had a sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he had such an immense hatred for magic. I never knew. But that doesn't change anything. It's all the more reason for him to hated me. It was selfish of me to learn magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyway. Magic killed someone he loved. No wonder he was furious. I'm gonna try this. But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. You're a good person, Celeste. You did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. What? Shut up. Just stop it. Whatever composure she had is slowly breaking down. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me. In his final moments, he could only think of how I betrayed him. I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. Lotus juice. Take a look at this picture, Celeste. What? A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice? You know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyvern Guard. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did all that for me, it was before he knew my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What the hell would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he bought the drink for you. It was also where it was when it shattered. What do you mean? Also, this music is gorgeous. Just giving it a second to... Your mother said the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby, where his body was. I ran into him before he went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. It can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. What? Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you. He was going to apologize? Your father loved you, Celeste. And as tragic as it is, he was going to try and apologize before he was murdered. I don't like this. My daughter, working as a mercenary of all things. Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself. I don't doubt it. You still shouldn't have to risk your neck for our sakes. They closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this. Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter. Love you till the day we die. How could I ever think that... Sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. Celeste had barely keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hadn't felt any warmth of any kind for days. You're caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Feeling better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. Probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. Is everything really going to be okay? Make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. If man, king, or god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Please forget about that. Anyway, take some time to rest. The trial's going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You learned a lot about what happened on the night of the murder. I just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. So we have an hour. We're going to finish this tonight. Miss Pierce told you all the details, Mr. Rudolph. Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Stillwyn. There's no possible way I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby Timura might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. I actually also appreciate that the Like, the court is explicitly corrupt, which explains why they get away with this shit. Alright, it's time. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, hi, Miss Timora. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. Glad to see you're finally getting used to things. So what'd you find in your investigation? You tell Miss Timora about everything you learned over your investigation. I don't know a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah, I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. So, no, probably not. Possible, but probably not. That is the guy that accidentally murdered the father's sister. And yeah, no, Tyrion's gonna piss some people off. It means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witness testimonies. Being reactive to the prosecution moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it's a miracle you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Alright, you almost forgot. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Timora. Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Well, let's go, Tyrion. Of course, trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret left buried between you two. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative: that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened. Interesting. It's my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. Why'd the witness change his mind like that? Did Owen persuade him? Or did something else happening here? Well, let's hear from the witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Rice Reginald Rudolph. I am a chauffeur of the equine variety. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say he's a carriage driver. Oh, I see. But in any case, it's my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he's filled an entire page. Mr. Rudolph? Ah, forgive me. I was merely taking notes on all the people in this room. Taking notes? The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I see. Then I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body. Actually, I have witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw. What? That is quite the claim. If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. No way the prosecution would leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court what you saw on that night. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flint McCoy, channeling magic into her sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's back, and as he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again through the front. She soon realized I had witnessed her heinous crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. I mean, honestly, he seems a lot more put together than Phoenix Wright's judge. Incredible. If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. You don't remember seeing him when you left to look for Celeste. It was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No, this is my first time meeting him. And I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night. So he has to be lying. Doesn't that mean he's the one that killed my dad? She tries to best her hide it. You can sense her restlessness. Hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. The butler did it! The defense may now begin their cross-examination. So we already know, this is actually where we came in. She couldn't have been lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. That they've been dead for, what was it, a week? Weeks. Objection! Mr. Rudolph, you testify that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony is a complete lie. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. Yeah, I don't blame you, Ranter. I played a lot of the first two. I've actually never finished 2 or 3, let alone any of the future series. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificial devices powered by an arcane power cell. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy. The room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or a lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness was clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact time that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic, and due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificiary. It had to have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? The witness wants to revise his testimony. I see no harm in obliging him. Yeah, rabble, 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 rabble. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out. He'll tear through each of his lies no matter what he does. I remember now. Yesterday, it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mageblade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow must have been created by Mageblade. God, you're bad at this, dude. I see. So the blue light you saw came from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with the cross-examination. With pleasure. It's not even going to be an examination. Get the shit out of my courtroom. What are you talking about? Thank you for that piece of information, Lemur. Although that might have actually convinced Maffey not to get a Sphinx cat. Anyway, the spell compendium. Mageblade specifically uses a yellow light. Objection! Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say I should have recognized Celeste's magic blade? No, I admit you probably wouldn't know about Mageblade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Thank you, Lemur. Hope your workout went well, brother. Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how Mageblade works, then you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mageblade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow, but what significance could such a minor detail have? It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous. You don't have any evidence to back up that claim. That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his notebook and specifically mentioned the color. Oh, great. So we're going to be reading incorrect spellings. There's no way he would have been mistaken about something like that. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell she couldn't have possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well... Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. No, wait, please. That is quite enough of that. Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to the judge nervously, but when the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still flustered Rudolph off the stand and begins addressing the courtroom. What is he even doing here? I'll not stand by while you harass my servant. Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. And what, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense, I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene. For the first time, Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Steelwind? Or Miss Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. I am the honorable heir of the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. But from the look on the judge's face, you can easily tell he won't face any actual consequences. Good Lord, I am feeling tired. I understand, and I'll accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please let me testify as to what I saw that night. Very well. It's highly irregular. Why is it every single, like... That is just me saying. It's highly irregular. Also, there's some... Okay, I think I spit on my screen, as gross as that is. So give me a quick second to wipe that down. But I believe the court will benefit from hearing from your testimony. However, know that this misconduct will hurt your credibility. Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven. And yes, love, Cornhaven is spelt with a K. Okay, I like that one, Lemur. I don't know if I ever told you my well joke. There we go. Nice clean screen. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a large commotion from in the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. That was when I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility. That means he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean? No doubt about it. He's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage we're looking for. Sorry, this must be a lot for you right now. What? You guys haven't heard the one about the 3 holes in the ground? Well, well, well. Focus on taking him down. Alright, so I actually don't have anything, so... Seems like a strange way to pass the time. Not that you believe him. The witness's eccentricities are beside the point. What matters is that he was clearly at the scene. I wouldn't quite put it that way, but nevertheless... I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a large commotion from within the building. I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim? One would conclude that, yes. As we all know, both of them became quite loud during their argument. It's not unreasonable to say the witness heard them from his carriage. Oh, bingo! If he was at the tavern entrance, that would mean he was here. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance. It'd be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational, even if my client was using Mage Blade at the time. Of course, I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. Used magic at the crime scene. Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. Must have made that detail a part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now you think about it. Rudolph was so sure he saw a blue light. It'd be strange if he was lying about that. Yeah, that's the one thing that I keep getting at. You know, like the body was reported hours after the argument. It's right in our notes. Well, it's not in our notes, but it was mentioned. Anyway, what spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. Luxo, which he did use. We did see him use it. A mote appears in the caster's hand. The color of light is chosen and be changed at will for the spell's duration. Provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. But if we look at the crime scene, that would have been way too far. God damn it, Lemur. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for his spell compendium to be added to the court record. I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. Ooh, I think that's actually just damage to my monitor. Yeah, it is. Damn it. Oh, well. It's not... Oh, wait, no. It's damage to the desk. Okay, that's good. That is good enough. I got confused. Can you all see that? Like right here, there's like a damage to his desk, and over here too. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. Okay, bingo. Gotcha. So... Objection! You're full of shit. Lord Pierce, you said you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building. Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we take a look at this map, that'd place you right here where the W is. Am I correct? Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you eliminated the crime scene from all the way back there. Considering Conjure Light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? The spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Position. God damn it. If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. What does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of that crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened. Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was close to where the murder occurred? How could that be possible? Well, there's only one way this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy. Hold on for a minute, this is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Pierce? The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one it is now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we could figure that out together when you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. What? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelman, why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Steelman, you're treacherous. That's enough. It appears the prosecution has no objections. To everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. So, he has Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. Creates a simple, harmless visual effect around their hand. Causes magic water to flow out of the hand, flow so long as it maintains concentration. Anything caught is hit with a cold air. Liquids hit are frozen and organic life will enter hypothermia. When concentrating the spell, a caster can magically manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form it into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. While frozen, the caster can also choose to make it instantaneously melt. Okay, we got it. So he used Shape Liquid to... Oh! I think he used Shape Liquid to shatter... Yeah, to shatter the wine bottle and then stab him with it. Good job, Tyrion. We got a spell compendium. With that, this case is as good as yours. Or is it? She didn't even try and stop you from taking a spell compendium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. Your Honor, I've looked at the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell he could cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false. You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth. I will not do that on behalf of Maffei. She gets enough of that. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could have very well be the suspect in the murder of the Flintheart McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. Acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There's much more we need to learn. What? That's not how this works! We proved there's reasonable doubt! That should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe, but it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing the case out. What? But that's not fair! It's just how the system works. The court doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so the kingdom can save face. No. However, the court will be... Oh, come on, don't suspend it! We'll be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a proper suspect.
Objection!
Hey! A possible suspect? The very idea is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it, I knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of this case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade using a transmutation spell acted on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Alright. Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object. Are you shitting me? Shape Liquid, you idiots! And there's actually a real-life equivalent to that of the disappearing bullet. It's a real thing that we've tried to do, and frankly, probably succeeded. What? That can't be right. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelman. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder. See, with that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer. But he was the only other mage there. No, I don't need a break. Continue, Lemur. I love puns. He has to be the real murderer. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? There are traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect the steel blade. Does that mean he used something else? Yeah, because there's another thing, too. There's no lotus juice at the scene of the crime. There's, like, he dropped the bottle, but their liquid is gone. The defense did cast some doubt on the witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not possibly have committed the murder. With that in mind... Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime. What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that could be channeled through a metal blade. He's right, which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, your claim seems quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, that's also true, Sean. Because the residue on the ground would have been from the wine. Which spell could Lord Pierce use to commit the murder? Easy! Come on, y'all aren't even giving me a challenge. Shape liquid. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped like a sword. What? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. What? No! Is it possible that he... What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce? What do I have to say? Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. You can see his stress and his frustration emanating through the eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow. Let's get his ass! I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner! I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child doesn't know her place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts, and look what happened. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. That girl used her holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. We've already established... God damn it. That one took me a second. So I'm going to use the map because... Can I back out and save? Yeah. Because I know what I want to say. This is why I don't mind save scumming in Phoenix Wright. Allow me to justify it to you guys. Where is my save button? There. No, not that button. Not that button either. Okay, we cannot save. We do this raw. I don't mind save scumming in Phoenix Wright games if you can accurately explain the situation. So, like, it's very clear that he couldn't have solved the murder because he already testified that he used the blue light. It's impossible. He wouldn't have had the lighting to see the murder. And how, pray tell, did... There we go. Good. Fuck off! Anyone who's played an Ace Attorney game knows the feeling where you're just screaming at the screen the answer to the case, but you can't figure out the exact order to present it to let them know. Everyone has had that happen. And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified you only took a single step inside the inn, but you would have needed to be within 15 feet to see my client with Conjure Light. This again? If you're going to keep treading on that one detail, then I admit it. I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail out of my testimony. All because I knew you'd use it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce. But you didn't just keep that detail for your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No, I mean... you miserable wretch. Perjury. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? You were that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. Yeah, there is one that I remember that, and it's so infuriating. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens? Shut up! Shut your dirty peasant mouth! That woman was armed. I had no reason to put my life in danger. She was wielding a sword after the murder. I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger. Bullshit! The picture clearly shows it was in him. Yeah, and it was one of the only times when it gives you the option to back down and like accept the loss, that's what you're supposed to do. It's the worst. But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding her sword if she left it there? What? Damn you! Thielwyn, why aren't you saying anything? What? Prosecutor Stillwyn has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise. Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. How can I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. And what do I get instead? Slander for some lowly defense attorney. No, wait, that's not true either. Well, okay, I was going to point out that he didn't come here, that he came here to watch. But yeah, bro, you already lied. You talk about justice, but you committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You don't care about justice, you just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid, and you used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? Who the hell? Where's my phone? I could have sworn I just felt it vibrate. Oh well. What? I'm not laughing that loud at 11:30 p.m. Don't worry about it, babe. Yeah, truth? It doesn't matter if you don't like it. I gave you an answer. Also, it has big vibes of the Hounds from the Proto-Men. What was her name? Doesn't matter. Lord Pierce, my apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. Has he finally lost his mind? The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. Shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. You see, it would have been a perfect crime, because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with the frozen blade. What? No! If you used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. And that means there'd be nothing left of the murder weapon. You've spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me. Isn't there anything we could do? You become quiet. Tyrion? Why isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? All it takes is one look on the expression on your face. Any worries she had instantly disappear, because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact you've lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again.
Naught can remain concealed.
Empowered eye. What did I just do? Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming. But at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. It's as if you could see more than you could before. This peasant pushed me this far. Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But this sensation feels different from how it usually is. It's intense and more potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than read his surface-level thoughts. You've activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about, project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. You'll want to project items that make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once it filled, you have everything you need to implicate him. Yeah, you're right, hon. The wine bottle. Why am I thinking of such a thing? No? The picture? And now that image is lingering in my mind. I didn't expect this experience to have such an effect on me. The sword. What an ornate sword. I wonder how common our liquor contains such a thing. I wonder if the Inquisition will let me have it when the girl is convicted. After all the trouble I went through, I can't believe the lawyer figured out what spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as there's any evidence to prove I used it. Yep, I'm lucky that old fool had a bottle of water with him. Water from a bottle? Wait, a bottle? There you go, dipshit. Well then, as riveting as this has been, I believe it's time for me to take my leave. Now wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear. There's no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the scene. You're right, Pierce. You didn't use shaped liquid on a body of water. If you did, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. It seems you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shaped liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going on about? Pierce, shaped liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast a spell on, didn't it? You show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice. That bottle. Pierce, I found the shattered bottle on the ground next to the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding a perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of the bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic? You little... That still proves nothing! So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon! I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So? What difference does that make? A blade of ice made of water would have evaporated entirely, but a blade of ice made of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No! It can't be! This is morale okay, that's a really good one, Lemur. I'd wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked the outline of that trace, I bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove you used your magic on the soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. Give me a breakdown. And that's checkmate. Bailiff, tell Orin to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find the traces of magic is closing. So we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines up exactly with the outline of transmutation magic. Check the broken bottle, too. It traces the transmutation magic on it as well. No doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Orm. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you've accomplished here today? You honestly believe you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to our society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Stealing? First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. I mean, you did literally just confess. What? You can't be serious. Shut your insidious mouth. Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once. I appreciate our prosecutor is just as interested in justice. I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion, That's all she can do to hold back her tears. No one me to say anything. Face says it all. Thank you. You did more than exceeded my expectations today. Miss Timora! I'll be honest. When I realized the murder weapon evaporated, I thought the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It's just luck. If he had used water, we'd have been done for. Honestly, no, we still wouldn't, because as they made it clear, it would have cast reasonable doubt. So she would have been fine. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used, and you did by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. That's not exactly true, but with Celeste there, you can't tell her about your nobility. You're all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. What did she mean by that? You glance at Miss Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. The Eye Taker? Not a typo? Fucking... What I love about your puns, Lemur, is they always take me a few seconds to get. She looks like she's focusing, almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? This is some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some sort of competition. Your act almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory was our system working as intended. Working as intended? You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know. What? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. Strange girl. Yeah, well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh? What'd you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they'll let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Miss Timona make? And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep on fighting and get justice for every one of my clients. Hey! Huzzah! This feeling, I knew it. His radiant soul is finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. I can't wait for the day when I see his eyes draped in agony. Nice. So the cases actually do automatically boot you back here. That's very streamer friendly. I'm going to leave this as my outro music. Well, not my full outro music, but just while I'm, you know, talking to you guys. Yeah. Y'all seem to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. We will be continuing this next week. Well, maybe not next week, but we will be continuing it. We'll see how the week takes us. Wednesday might be another wild card, but I don't want to overload on this game for both our sakes. For the, you know, the chat, I don't want the chat to get too bored of it, and I don't want my throat to die playing an RPG and... Now, guys, I didn't get enough support, okay? That was a bad one. I had to open my mouth for that one. I can't be doing that, though. I can't be doing that. The people aren't going to get the damn joke. Anyway, yeah, I might hold this off until Breath of Fire is finished. So that way I'm not playing two RPGs, or two games that I had to voice a lot back to back. You gave me moral support. That's enough. But as I said earlier, I will be back on probably Friday on Maffy's stream to play Wire and Whiskers, and then she'll probably go to finish up Spyro. In addition, you guys might see a stream pop up tomorrow or Saturday. I advise you ignore that one, because that's going to be me trying to fix the sound alerts, fix Streamlabs and all that mess. So Don't worry about that if you see it. Just ignore it. It'll be clearly marked. But I have to have it public, otherwise Streamlabs can't find it. So I can't test it with a private link. It is what it is. In any case, that will be all this week. Viewbot tomorrow or Saturday. Yeah, my tech support stream gets like 500 views and pushes me into actual star. Yeah, right. Okay. In any case, I'm wiped and my throat feels like I just took some sandpaper to it. So that is going to be all for this week. Thank you everybody for joining. Next week, I got to figure out something for Monday. But other than that, we probably will be continuing in Breath of Fire 4, which, for the record, I have been doing off-screen grinding, and I will continue to try and catch up a little bit. And I've cleared some side quests, got some dragons, stuff like that. I'll catch everybody up. But that's just to be 100% clear. And I have been using guides to specifically track down, like, hidden things. Example, one of the masters that you can get only appears after you talk to another master who only appears when you catch a certain amount of fish, which you can only catch with specific lures. It's just kind of a clusterfuck. But that was games in the 90s and 2000s selling strategy guides. So, yes, new game on Monday. Don't know what it is. Don't know. It might be a one-shot. And probably a new game on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. In any case. Damper Dingo. Look, okay, listen. I will 100% say, and I know every detractor who makes their own content, if you are a detractor, if you're hearing this, and you want to make your own non-Philip related content, alright? I don't like to make my streams about the man, because that's not what it's about. We're here to detox, we're here to enjoy ourselves. Screw him, screw everything he does. But there is a part of me that wants to match his viewer count. And like even his view botted plus dents and all that mess. So, you know, the 200 that he usually gets, or 300. I want to get there. Not just for my own benefit, and yes, my own benefit, but just so I can officially rub it in his face. Which reminds me, thank you. I'm going to do this over on a lot of people, but since most of my audience here right now, it's the same audience, I am going to formally challenge Philip Burnell, DSP Gaming, to Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And if he refuses this battle, if he refuses this challenge, then he is officially a coward that's ducking me. And that makes me the grand champion of fighting games, and he cannot deny it. Hey, 5, that's not bad, especially for the ending of the stream. I'm happy with it. But yes, outro. That's the plan for next week. Like I said, I should be back on Friday over on Maffy's channel. Not a lot of people, but Mafta Egypt. Actually, let me go ahead and take the chance to... Why am I hitting it in the wrong barrel? Damn it. I can't just search Maffy. But she is in my sub list, so give me a quick second. There she is. So I am going to... Come on, YouTube, stop being a prick. Also, I don't know if anyone's been affected by the new YouTube AI thingamabobber, but I haven't noticed it. So yeah, there's Maffy's channel. For the nobody who doesn't know, Mafta is my wife and my artist. So, yeah, give her a look. Like I said, I'll be over there on Friday. So, other than that, there should be a tech stream either tomorrow or Saturday where I will be just farting around trying to get the sound bites working for both of us. And that's it. So, everybody, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for your time. I don't care if you've been lurking the whole time. I don't care if you just got here 2 seconds ago. I appreciate every second your eyeballs or ears are on my content. Because time is one of those things that you cannot get back. So I appreciate every second that's shared with me. So, take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. And as always, let me get that away from there so I can actually... Okay. And as always, stay golden, everybody. See you next week.